everyone. We are back with another episode of On the DELO. And today, my special guest is my wife.
Yeah, hello.
Are you excited?
I am. I'm a little nervous.
When you're nervous in front of your...
I'm on this microphone with you. I never know what you're going to come up with.
This is amazing. Her new name is Kimberly K. DeLorenzo.
Yes, finally. Finally got it changed.
Oh, thank goodness. What a sexy name that is, right?
It is a sexy name. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I thought you would. Yeah. And in respect and benefit of my wife today, we are sponsored by Purely Sedona glass bottles. It's her favorite.
Are you allowed to say that? We're not really sponsored.
No, we're not really sponsored.
Dave buys these, and
And I get shit about it all the time when I come home. She's like, "Why are you buying those expensive glass bottles for the office?"
No, I mean we drink out of these bottles at home, so I'm a big fan of obviously glass, but you could just have like an RO dispenser.
We do. We have that as well. But we're going to talk a little bit about our health protocols and things like that. So it's kind of a good segue. For everybody that is listening, now there's many people here that listen that may not know that I have a wife because she, only likes to be on camera ever so often. So this is like an elusive Bigfoot sighting here, which is beautiful.
I'm a Bigfoot now.
Well, you're a very pretty Bigfoot.
Oh no, I might rather be a Loch Ness monster.
Okay, you're a sexy Loch Ness monster. How's that?
Okay,
always attracted me to you. But my wife and what attracted me to her and what had me love her so much is her ability to communicate and to talk and to always let me know how she's feeling. But prior to that, I would say I was very, very superficial in the fact that I would see her on magazine covers. And so, Kimberly K. DeLorenzo, why don't you talk a little bit about your history prior to me and in fitness and modeling and all that sort of stuff, so people kind of have a little bit of a background of you.
Okay, so specifically to that. Well, let's see. I guess after I had the kids, who are 21 and 19 now, they were younger then. It started really just trying to get in shape. I didn't have any aspirations to do that. I actually needed to lose a lot of weight. I wanted to get healthier. Having 2 babies was pretty rough. And I started on that path and eventually grew to really love it, grew to love running, started incorporating other fitness things into that. And one day a friend of mine said, you should do a fitness show. And I was shocked. Like I'd never and I guess maybe some people in your audience know what that is.
Well, yeah, define fitness show.
So a fitness show is like there are several different ones around the country that you can do. And you sign up, you get on stage in this really skimpy bikini if you're a girl. And you can either do, there's different divisions. You could do like fitness. You could do figure, which is a little more muscular. You could do bikini, which is what I did because I was not wanting to build quite as much muscle so quickly. Anyway, in my opinion, get up there, you smile, they rate you.
Right.
You're done.
Yeah.
So I was surprised, but I thought, you know what? I bet I could do that. And I did a couple shows, and one was Fitness America in Vegas. That was kind of had a different flavor. Personality was part of it. There's a component where you dress up in a costume. So it probably sounds weird to people listening.
What was your costume? It was like a
I didn't
referee?
fully understand. Yeah, I didn't really understand going into it, all the nuances.
Well, that's original.
Yeah, well, I have this thing, I get involved in stuff, and I don't really, like when I did pageants and stuff, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, and I kind of learned as I went. But yeah, I mean, I was a referee, so I thought it represented me, though, because I can ride the middle ground pretty easily. Like, I can see 2 sides of stories and stuff. I thought, this suits my personality. I don't think they cared or gave me a chance to say that.
They weren't looking at your outfit, right?
No. Anyway, I did that, and simultaneously, I had another friend say, Kim, there's this open audition for this casting call for modeling opportunities. At the time, it was up at City North. You should go. And I thought, well, I did a little bit of that when I was little like that. Maybe I'll try. And I did, and I got it. And I got another magazine spread that was really just a feature, not a big thing. But that kind of opened the door to some of these opportunities for me. And I parlayed off of that by pursuing some opportunities to write for magazines and kind of honing my freelance writing skills. And then eventually opening a company called Fit Mom Diet. Had a business partner, Shannon, and focused on fitness, nutrition, wellness. It was for moms, trying to help moms get healthy and kind of develop that, which turned into news segments and magazine articles and modeling and the early stages of influencing. Before, we see so many people doing it now, but back
a lot of good
10 years ago, this wasn't.
Yeah, you had a lot of good news segments and magazine articles and all sorts of stuff. And I think those magazines were more prominent back then because Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff wasn't really utilized the way it is now.
Yeah, some of them have since gone out of business. We don't see as many magazines.
Yeah. Tell everybody about the Pepsi commercial. Wasn't it a Pepsi commercial you were in?
It was a print ad, national print ad. Yeah.
And you were like a witch?
No. No, you're thinking of two different things. I did land I think there was like 54 million copies of that ad that went out, which is crazy. It might be a little lower, but I mean, it was some crazy amount all over the country. So that was a Pepsi ad. And that was cool. I got paid really well for that. But you're thinking of when I got cast as the ugly wife, I think. And I looked like a witch. And that was a commercial for One Stop Title Loans.
Oh.
And I mean, I walked in there, I got the job. I mean, I think I got it because the personality I brought when I did the audition, but then they transformed me. It was this super talented makeup artist. I think it was Allison Pinn, did that to me, and she put this nose on. And it was so fun though. Like, we were early morning, it was August, we're trying to get this goat to walk because it's set in these different times. And I'm like, why don't you just maybe get it food? It wouldn't move, we're all sweating. It was really fun though.
That sounds great. Okay, well, that is my wife's background in history. It's amazing.
Being an ugly
witch nose and, in
a Pepsi commercial. That Pepsi ad, they did tell me that I was pretty cut then, like more defined, and they saw me. I kind of covered that up in the audition. You kind of have to like fit the role. And then when I got there, they're like, "Oh, we're not going to be able to have you wear this tank top. We're going to have to like fluff you up a little bit."
Listen to you, yeah.
Yeah, so
shredded.
Well, then, it just depends on the role. There were certain things I didn't get because I wasn't shredded enough. So
yeah, and let's talk about the seasons of life. So in your 20s, what were you busy, doing as far as let's just say health and wellness sorts of things? Like, what was your mantra back then in your 20s?
In my 20s?
Yeah, if anything. I mean, was it Starbucks and
no, I don't think
raising kids?
Starbucks was as much around. And I didn't have kids till I was 28 and 30.
Yeah.
But I was in graduate school. So I was literally like studying all the time, eating popcorn on Friday night. I still love popcorn.
Yeah, you do.
Gosh, I try to get the healthy popcorn now if I'm going to eat it. But and I was eating in dining halls. And I was living in Ohio, so it just, yeah. And I didn't really know anything about health. I mean, I was an athlete when I was young, so I had a little bit of that.
Right.
I knew some basic stuff, but it was nothing like
What sports did you play when you were young?
I was a runner and a long jumper. I played basketball in high school. Those were probably the sports I was best at. Like, I was terrible at softball. I was a gymnast for a long time when I was younger. Would have loved to have pursued that, but we didn't really have the money in my family to set me up the way that, I would have needed to be competitive on a larger level. Yeah,
because I mean, the thing is like in your 20s, you get out of being a kid and doing all those sports, and then in your 20s, all of a sudden you're on your own, you personally, because you didn't really have the support that a lot of people do have with their parents, and now you're like into adultism real quick.
Yeah,
right.
I was an adult from probably like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching and maintaining and doing all that stuff on your own.
Yeah.
So that's your 20s. And then at 28, you have Matthew, right? Our oldest, who's 21 now. That's a little crazy, right?
I know,
think
it's just insane.
A young man.
A 21-year-old.
Yeah. He just got back from Vegas and,
God help us. No, he's a good kid.
He's a good kid. But when he comes back, he's like, yeah, I'm up $100. I'm like, I don't even want to know.
I know. Don't even tell me.
Yeah. And then,
not a big fan of gambling, but
no, it is what it is. And then in your 30s really is where kind of your fitness journey really started, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because I had Jack at 30, and then, a few years later, it's kind of a weird thing to talk about, I guess, but I guess I do have a past life. So I do have an ex-husband, and there were some health challenges there with him, and it really just got me focused on how important health is. And so, and really, it was honestly mentally, I started running just to process the challenges of being a mom to young kids, the health stuff going on in our family. And I more did it for my mental health. I never followed any plan. I never did 5K, couch to 5K. I just started to run and listen to my body. And that just turned into something I love. And I'd trail run a lot in nature, so I love that. And it kind of grew from there, I would say, my love for fitness.
Yeah, and then it turned into these fitness competitions, which you and I have both done, and they have their place, I think, at a certain time. Sometimes I think some people grow out of them, and like my father, some people never grow out of them. Mm-hmm. But they were very, I would say for me, and you'll probably say the same, almost like counterintuitive, almost abusive to our bodies.
Yeah, I felt fortunate that I was older when I did that, and I had a pretty good head on my shoulders at, I want to say I was maybe 37 or 38 when I did that.
Yeah.
So I was pretty careful, but I see a lot of younger women get kind of sucked into that. And I was very in shape when I started. I didn't have much to change, but when you start and you try to lose 20 pounds and get cut really quick and you are eating fish every day, the thing I value about those competitions is how it taught me what health is not.
Yeah.
So if that's something people want to do, more power to them. I learned a lot from it, but I think you have to proceed with caution and be very mindful of, is this truly healthy? Am I chasing an image, or am I trying to get healthier?
Yeah. Everybody's definition of health, I think, is relevant to what they see within themselves. So they may be looking at themselves in the mirror saying, hey, I'm totally shredded and cut, but they go do a blood test and it's like, it's not good.
Yeah, it's all over the board. And, specifically for women, we're designed to carry a little bit of weight. When you get to a certain level of body fat that's so low and you begin losing your period, my husband's favorite word, and your hormones are all over the board and you're not sleeping and you get brain fog, like that's generally a sign that you might need some fat or some food or, a better macro plan or just to eat more. So you kind of have to know your body and really be intuitive about what's happening to you during that if you're going to do that, because they have some pretty hardcore.
Oh yeah, like not drink water. I remember I would pass out in meetings. I would literally be sitting up and I would fall asleep like our dog does, watching TV.
Totally.
And just fall asleep right there, like in front of my business coach. She's like, are you with me? I'm like, huh? What? Yeah, because I was completely dehydrated. I was shredded. I mean, hey.
I think the low was when I went to Fitness Model International, which is this, was a conference at the time. And I was in the middle of my 4-month prep, and I literally packed baby food, so that I could get my specific green beans for dinner. And I just sat there, and I kind of just stopped eating at that point because I'm like, or right before Fitness America, you really cut at the very end, and I was sitting there eating. The only thing in the whole grocery store at that point I could eat was chicken or avocados. And I felt like an animal at that point. I must have been, I was really lean. And that was about the point I said, okay, Kim.
That was fun.
It was right towards the end that I'm like, okay, this isn't going to happen again.
Yeah, we have, Diddy is in here filming us today, and he's about to have a baby here soon. And so, Diddy, what do you think about eating some baby food?
No.
not doing it. Yeah. That's what you got to do to get shredded, man.
If you cook it yourself, it's probably not bad. You can just puree it, eat. But I was literally getting those Gerber.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so you and I have been together 10 years, right? And I think...
10 years?
Yeah.
You made it 10 years with me.
Decade. The 7-year itch went away 3 years ago. How amazing is that?
People don't realize that you were never married before, and you didn't have any biological kids, and you never lived with anyone, I don't think.
I think you thought I was gay, and there was no...
No, but I did think you were retired when we first met, remember?
Yeah, that's true, because I would always show up conveniently. Thank God I had my own job. That's the only reason why I got her. If I had to adhere to a schedule where I couldn't leave, I don't know if I would ever got my wife, because I couldn't just leave and then, show up with a rose like I did while she was at the car wash. But for another time. Okay. So we're talking about health in this episode, and we can get into some other stuff, but we've been together 10 years. Now we've we know each other pretty well, and we all have our things. Like my wife likes to go to the bathroom with the door open, which
so do you, but
it's just payback.
Tell them what I say. Well, we would get sidetracked if you tell them what I said. But
what? No.
Well, when I have the door open, you don't really see anything. But if you pee with the door open, I literally see urine coming out of you. So it's different.
Okay. Well, that's then don't. Yeah. Anyways, all right. So we do a lot of health stuff together. So let's talk about some of the things that we do. I guess since we're talking about my pee coming out of me, let's talk about the thing that we put in us, which is ozone, and tell the audience listening. And these are all things that you can legitimately do at your home on your own. I know you and I were very sketched out about this at first because you're going and you're buying a tank that you're going to fill up balloons with, right? Party balloons, and you're going to put it in this machine, and then you're going to stick it up your ass. And why don't you give the audience a little bit of the health benefits of why we're doing this?
Well, we decided to do that because I had been trying to unravel some health issues that I had post, all the story I just told. And I tried a lot of different things, and I still am. I love health. I love nutrition. I love the really deep dive of biohacking and figuring out, and I can get a little carried away, admittingly, so then I have to reel myself back. But towards the end of that, I did intravenous ozone, which is where you need to go into a doctor's office, and kind of like an IV, if you've ever had a saline IV, they stick that in you, but they actually take blood out, mix it with, ozonate it, and put it back in your body. And it's such a powerful healing method. It boosts your mitochondrial function, and so it can help with everything from, dormant viruses in you that you don't even really realize you have, getting more energy, helping you sleep better. If you have things like mold illnesses or Lyme or anything like that, it's really considered the gold standard. So I did 8 rounds of that. I found it tremendously helpful, but it's expensive. So I started researching the rectal ozone. We were pretty nervous, and then we came across a friend who was doing it. She's like, it's not that bad. So, if it's something you're interested in, if you can find somebody that has it and can kind of show you, right. Or there's lots of YouTube videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we do. It's so easy though. You just put the ozone in a bag, put it up you an inch or two. It's the smallest thing. My kids freak out. They are going to do it someday, but they're too scared yet. They're like, we're not doing it.
Well, I mean, they're doing things that we're not doing, right?
Yeah.
So
a bunch of crap.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's the ozone. I mean, that's really the over the top, probably the most creative thing that I'm sure that we're one out of a million that that do that sort of thing. And I find the benefits of it because I just don't get sick a lot, and I'm pretty healthy. So I think you can explain to people listening, like how over the top neurotic I am about doing everything.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
We're super different in that respect. I can get really fixated on learning about all this stuff, but I flow a lot. I take things as they come. If I feel called to do something, I do it. If I wake up one day, Dave goes to bed at 8 every night and gets up at 3:54 every day. Almost always, except for a couple times a year if he goes to a concert. And then everything he does, he journals, including how many times he pees at night, every supplement he takes. He does red light belly every night. Doesn't matter what's going on. If he comes home late, he sits on the couch and does it. Now, I should have never got that as a Christmas gift because I didn't realize it would become... But yeah.
Because I have addiction problems. So I'm utilizing those I shouldn't say problems, just the addiction mindset. I'm utilizing the good addictions to keep doing that stuff over and over as opposed to bad addictions.
Well, I always tell you that I think we have a thing that we talk about, Dave and I, that's the things that drive me a little nuts about you now are the things that I fell in love with you for. And sometimes I'm like, really, do you have to work out? Could we do something different? But that same personality is what makes you really good in business and in relationships. You're consistent, you're so organized, you're so on top of it. So it's a strength, really, I think. And something that you
just like to give me shit.
I don't want to be totally like you, but a little bit of it for me is good.
It's very nice. Do we both have a supplement problem, or do I have a supplement problem, or is it kind of a combo of both? Because we go to a naturopath, which we enjoy going to.
A functional medicine doctor. So
yeah.
it's a little different than natural. I
still say that, whatever. I mean, okay, she's functionally natural.
Well, I mean, like a functional medicine doctor is a person that has traditional medical training.
Right.
She's a trained anesthesiologist. But also a functional natural approach.
Yes.
So they know both of those worlds, and they have different educational training.
And how many drugs has she prescribed us?
None.
0.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So
we want to do that.
So we do our things like our fish oils, our magnesiums. I mean, what are our non-negotiables that you and I both do?
Well, I think both of us have extensive panels done every 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
And so we know where each of us stand. And then there's some overlap, which there probably are with most humans. Most humans, I think, tend to be deficient in zinc and magnesium and vitamin D. And fish oil is just kind of like an omega. So they're things that are good for everybody. So we overlap on those things. But I think to some degree, like I try to supplement where I need supplementation according to my tests. And then every once in a while, I'll throw in something because intuitively, I just feel like it's really helpful for me. You, on the other hand, do the same thing as me, except that you get sucked in sometimes by different influencers or ads. And if they say hair growth, you're like, I got to have it.
Look how good my hair looks.
Well, it does, but you have to be careful because you can end up, there's pros and cons of every supplement. You have to understand them a little bit more intimately or, talk to a naturopath or a functional medicine doctor so they can make sure you're not like adding something that's going to take something else in a different direction.
Right.
Like a good example, people don't even I actually went to like a ENT doctor and he's like, why are you on copper? And I had to explain to him because I'm on higher levels of zinc because my zinc levels are lower and zinc pulls copper from your system. So I supplement copper to keep that up from falling too low because that ratio is really important. But I even have, medical doctors ask me that. My doctor's very aware of that. That's why I'm on it. So my levels really, and we aim to be optimal. And I guess that's different than acceptable.
Okay, so the moral of the story is basically people really need to read their labels, which I don't do. So I bought this supplement for hair growth. Of course I did. And, I'm taking this thing and then I have all my other supplements that I take. My wife decides to go to my cabinet as she usually does. And she pulls out the hair growth supplement and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm growing some hair. And she's like, you are already double dosing, if not triple dosing on this, and this.
Vitamin A, I think.
Yeah, it was vitamin A, right.
Hammering yourself with vitamin A.
Yeah. And so sometimes, more can be actually not good.
Yeah.
So you have to adjust to that. But yeah, read the labels of what you're doing and don't take too much,
I mean, don't look at us for medical advice.
No, I don't give medical advice.
However, I will say there are some general, very low recommendations of a lot of things that, the FDA says, you'd be safe taking these.
Yeah.
Like that's what multivitamins are. So
right.
at the least, those are good, but we kind of change our dosage according to what our doctor looks at our tests.
100%. So let's talk about our love for organic food, because before I met you, you were basically eating out of Walmart bins.
You're so ridiculous. Come on.
Totally. I saw her at Walmart scrounging through bins, eating just whatever was there. I was like, look, we got to go organic if you're going to be with me. And she's like, oh my God, it's so much money. I don't know if we can do it. And then I talked her into it.
Okay, let's just like reframe this. So not everything I ate was organic. I did have some organic products, but I didn't feel like I had to buy everything organic. Whereas you were really good about buying organic when you went to the supermarket and then going to Starbucks every morning and getting an egg sandwich and eating muffins and all the things.
Yeah.
So, but got really interested in organic food and I really started to study it and try to understand why it's important and why we can't just get our nutrients anymore from food and what non-organic food does to you and the nuances of it, the farmer's market versus the grocery store versus local food. And but it was a transition for us because it is expensive.
Yeah.
So we had to start with like the heavy hitting things that were really important and then slowly get our budget used to doing more and more to the point where I don't think we buy anything now that's not organic except for occasionally watermelon or avocado.
Well, I think the key too is that we're in a fortunate position because of, all the years of work I've put in and all the things that you do to shop at different places and make sure that we're taking care of, both, price wise and good food wise and all that. Because it takes a lot to shop organic. I mean, my wife's going to 4 different stores sometimes in a week just to find different products. And I remember during, COVID times or whatever, you'd go find turkey over at store A that was less than, half of what it costs at store B, and you would search and look and all that, and so when you look at it, if you just can not waste and buy what you like, at least.
I know a lot of people say I can't afford it, and I fully understand that because there's been times when I can't afford it. However, you also have to look at it like where are you spending your money? Now, like you said, we can still afford to buy a car we like and eat organic. However, for people who can't, I was in that position at one point. Like, you have to shift and think, like, what might I be able to give up? So if you do go to Starbucks every day and spend $4 or $5, and you can make coffee at home, an organic cup for a quarter of the price, or maybe it's not that you buy the most expensive cracker. Like, maybe that's not part of your, nutrition anymore, but you get your sweet potatoes organic and you find grass-fed ground beef, which is more, but still, like, there's ways that you can do certain things that make it more affordable.
Yeah.
And don't go out to eat, because now that's just actually go out to eat. I mean, support them. But if you're eating out every day for
we cook a lot at home because, for health benefits and knowing what's in our food and all that, we do like to go out to eat a lot. We support a lot of my clients and we enjoy that, and they always take care of us. But when you talk about, this and people are listening, you're like, organic, does it really make a difference? You know what? For you, I don't know. That's fine. Don't eat organic. Like, I don't give a shit. It's one of those things where I can just tell you, with what my wife and I do together, we love doing it. And I think we operate an optimal level for where we're at, health wise and in our age and all that. And so if something works for you, or if you at least want to try and experiment with it and it works for you, then why not keep going down that route?
Yeah. Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
It goes into a little different level of health, but I think both of you and I have learned to do this, and that is, showing appreciation for your food and blessing your food. And I mean, this gets into a realm that maybe everybody's like, oh, that sounds a little crazy. But however you choose to express that, whether, you're very religious or you're very spiritual, I find that food is energy, and energy is invisible. And the same way, there's been scientific studies on changing the molecular structure of water. Yeah. And that's been proven in labs. And we've actually met the guy that worked on that.
Yeah, that's right.
We used to be friends with him, which is awesome.
Bill Tiller.
Yeah. But, food is the same way to me. So, yes, do I try to, find local or in our garden? I love that food. Yeah. But when I can't, I try to sit in front of my food for 30 seconds before I eat and send this energy to the food, and also ask my body, okay, please, pull the nutrients from this. Please let this nourish me. And it's really, the mind is very powerful. So it's the way you think about food too. So maybe you get stuck eating something. You're like, it's probably not for the best of me, but I'm traveling and I got to grab this. That's a powerful practice, in my opinion.
Eat the pizza, enjoy it, bless it, and just have fun with it. Don't stress over it. Yeah.
Because if you get too stressed, which, I've done in the past, then that's equally as unhealthy. So
1,000%. So all this stuff that we talk about today, it's all stuff that we do as a couple. We enjoy. I think anybody out there that's listening that has a spouse or a partner or whatever, if it's things that you want to do, going grocery shopping together, that's one thing that we do. We love it. I put shit in the cart that she has no idea until we get to check out, and she's like, "What are you doing now?"
But at least you don't get the cupcakes out of the trash anymore.
No, not anymore. I did do that at one time. Yeah, trash cupcakes are the best.
What was that show? It was like, This is 40 or something. This is 40, and she comes out and her husband's all in the outside trash. And she's like, stop eating cupcakes. That's me.
Oh, that's funny. But to bring my wife on for the first time, I wanted to talk, kind of like what we really love doing together. And we sound like, we could possibly be the most boring couple in the world. And there's a lot of truth to that because I go to bed at 8. She's a little bit later. And
nobody would ever describe you as boring.
No.
Maybe me, but not you.
And we're just into health and wellness and all that sort of stuff. So, we're going to do many more kind of just segments of different things that we're going to talk about. But in my true nature of keeping this a half hour, I'm going to leave with asking my wife a few questions. And so you can kind of get to know her a little bit better. So, honey, what's your favorite TV show?
Oh, seriously.
Right now, what is it?
Well, it's a toss-up between Rock the Block on HGTV, which is awesome, and then like our kind of dumb guilty pleasure is 90 Day Fiancé, because we love to watch all the different places people go and the craziness of relationships. And yeah, I guess it makes us appreciate us more. And some of those actually work out and some don't. So
I think it's all fake, but whatever.
I think it probably is, which would be a bummer. But
what's your favorite pet?
My favorite pet, like out of ours that we own?
It's a question.
Well,
give me an answer.
Well, Jersey and Leia.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Jersey and Leia.
And then Jeremiah, obviously.
Jeremiah or lizard.
Is
yes.
The third.
What's your morning ritual? What do you like to do? Like, what is your favorite morning ritual if you're on course?
You know what? I love to have coffee now that I can have it again. I gave it up for 2 years. Didn't really like giving it up, but felt like it was important to do at the time. And now I have it back. And then once I kind of have coffee and give myself a minute to wake up, I love taking Jersey for a walk in the morning, getting that first sunlight in my eyes.
I like your Lululemons.
Setting my circadian rhythms.
Very cool. Tucson or Flagstaff?
Oh gosh, Flagstaff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And Jack's up there too. So
yeah, a little Jackie. Spa day or hike with husband?
I don't both.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
I
fair.
love both of those things.
Yeah, you get excited.
Yeah, those are two of my favorite things to do. So
my wife is like my third dog. She shakes her tail every time we go on a hike. Right.
Well, I like it when you go with me because I know you like to go run up Camelback.
My wife does not like snakes. The snakes, no good.
No, I don't go out in the summer on the trails unless they're really wide.
Aliens or Bigfoot?
Aliens.
Okay. We got aliens.
100%.
How cold is too cold for the air conditioning?
There's no too cold. As low as it goes.
Okay. So we're at 62 right now? 63.
Yeah.
Does it go any lower?
I think it actually goes to like 60.
60.
But I feel
and then
like
it just breaks?
I don't think it breaks. I mean, it has never broke for us, but I'm afraid if I turn it down much more, then what if I really feel like I need to turn it down? There's nowhere left to go. So
okay, that's great.
It's a problem when we travel, right? And
it's the ice bath. That's the next place to go sleep in that.
Yeah.
God.
I like it, but I put all the blankets on me, so.
We're going to talk about how we don't like to travel next podcast and all the things that have to happen in order to travel, and air conditioning is one of those things.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. What is your favorite home-cooked meal?
Oh, gosh. I love filet mignon, and then probably asparagus, a really nice green salad with lots of veggies and olive oil.
Sounds good.
That's probably mine. I know what yours is.
What's mine?
Yours is either bison or turkey burgers with organic Colby Jack cheese, pickles, sauerkraut, olives, and potatoes that we make at home.
Yeah, we have the air fryer. Game changer.
Yeah.
Game changer.
The organic, unsweetened, really expensive ketchup.
Yeah. What is it? Primal ketchup or something like that. It's not even ketchup. It's like red shit that tastes like ketchup.
It tastes exactly like ketchup.
I guess it's just tomatoes, right?
Tomato paste, with
so
vinegar
good.
and some sea salt.
Yeah, we'll go over recipes next time. But anyways, all right, honey, thank you for coming to be my guest. You look so beautiful
thanks for
today.
having me. We've been talking about doing this for a while.
You were so pretty. I'm going to give you a pretty sign. You like that, huh? Oh, fly away, my fairy. There's no need to follow her on Instagram. It's just pictures of the house and the dogs and shit. So
occasionally you and the kids.
Yeah, just follow me, and maybe you'll get a glimpse of my beautiful wife. And so until next time, thank you everybody for listening to On the DELO, and we'll check you out later. Peace.